All right, so I'm live. I'm going to turn this into a video. So it's 11:10. I'm going to show some of my final picks. I don't know why this is so low. You guys can hear me okay. There we go. Anyway, I'm going to show some final picks for the year, my last pickups of the year that I haven't shown off yet. I don't know, this thing's weird. Looking over here, it's like, what's going on? All kinds of different things. Okay, media assets. Okay, I'm just going to go to comments and see if anybody shows up. Anyway, I'm going to show off, like I said, the last bit of records I've collected the past month or two. And I'm really going to slow it down as far as purchasing this year. I've got a new strategy. I still want to kind of reduce my collection down to my essentials, basically. And did some pretty good work today getting there. And tonight I'll be trying this for the first time. Blue Note. Pretty cool, huh? Blue Note Juke Joint. Unfiltered small batch straight bourbon whiskey. It's got the little music notes up there. It looks more bluesy than like jazz. I don't know what the whole story is behind this. 3-peat platinum. Oh, here we go. The Spirit of the Blues. So it's more of a blues thing than a jazz thing. But look at that. That is a cool label. So figured I'd drink some Blue Note whiskey, just tribute to my newfound passion for jazz in the past 2 years or so. I love the blues too, so let's drink to the blues and to the jazz. If I can get it open. It's fancy when it's got a plastic seal. Fancy. Man, everybody else is probably all drinking and liquored up. Or sleeping. We had people over tonight, and they were gone by about 10. I mean, my mother-in-law's here, and she'll be, I think, 93 this year, so she's not much of a person to stay up very late. Holy crap, man! Maybe I won't be drinking this tonight. Let's see if this helps a little. But I was able to finish listening to all these new purchases, and I guess it goes back. Yeah, it has to be November and December because there's some record store day stuff in there that I just finally kind of got to and listened to, see how it sounds. It wasn't too bad this year, record store day, as far as the ones that I picked up and quality. I didn't have any issues. Man. There we go. Get it over there. So, anyway, let's break the seal. That sucker wants to get off here. Smells like whiskey. All right, so put it on ice. That'll probably be good. I'll be able to finish. Don't have anything to. I have napkins around here. Anyway, let's put that off to the side. That is a cool. They have 4 or 5 different varieties of that Blue Note, so we'll see how that goes. Very chilled. Not bad. Smooth. There's that burn. Pretty cool. All right. So let me show you what I got here. Hello, who's ever there? This is one that I did pick up, and it's one of those where I didn't check my list, and I should have checked my list. I'm like, it popped up. I'm like, I got to get a good copy of that. And this is a nice, clean copy of this. but I guess I already picked it up along the way. So I'm going to do a last listen to this one and the one that I have to make sure I have the better copy, and one of them's going to have to go. But a good album. Yeah, every picture tells a story, Rod Stewart. Yeah, really good album. Reason to Believe is on here. Maggie May, Mandolin Wind, Every Picture Tells a Story. Just a really good, solid album. Here's one that I picked up recently. I want to say The Secret Policeman's Ball or something, because I remember having Phil Collins doing In the Air Tonight just on piano, and that's on here. So, but this is the Secret Policeman's Other Ball. It's Amnesty International, has Sting, Jeff Beck, Eric Clapton, Bob Geldof, Johnny Fingers, Phil Collins, Donovan, and the Secret Police, which is all those guys, I believe. But I haven't listened to it yet. I got to give it a cleaning. But it has, it's pretty cool. I guess it's pretty stripped down, what it seems like, for most of it. Because Sting does Roxanne and Message in a Bottle, and it's just him playing guitar. And then you've got Clapton and Jeff Beck playing together, and it's Because We've Ended as Lovers, Farther Up the Road. I don't know if that's Further On Up the Road, and they named it differently. I don't know. And Crossroads. And then Geldof and Johnny Fingers doing I Don't Like Mondays, which is the only song I really know by what the hell's the name of that band that Geldof was in? I forget now. But then it has Phil Collins doing In the Air Tonight and The Roof is Leaking. I like The Roof is Leaking off his solo album. But yeah, In the Air Tonight on piano is pretty cool. And then Donovan does The Universal Soldier and Catch the Wind, which a friend of mine says those are like his best songs. And I don't know those songs by Donovan, so we'll see how I'm not a big Donovan guy, but I haven't really deep dive in Donovan. And then you have The Secret Police, which I believe is all those guys, and a full band doing I Shall Be Released. So I'll check that out once I get it cleaned. So for jazz, I picked up this Lou Donaldson, Lush Life. I saw a copy of this recently over at another store and had a different cover. I'm assuming this is a different cover. This is different as far as the Lou Donaldson I know. What's up with the thing on the does it do? I don't know. Because the Lou Donaldson stuff I have is like Blues Walk and all that. Maybe later albums, and it has like conga and more percussion and things like that. It seems a little off the beaten path from just what do you call it, hard bop, bop kind of stuff, where this is kind of like you got a date night, you put this on. It's a real nice kind of like romantic kind of album, I guess you could say. It's just smooth, and it's they do Stardust on here. Just a nice sounding album, more to the traditional blues. And he has like three, including himself, two other sax players. And one of the guys that plays sax also plays flute, Jerry Dodgion. And then there's Wayne Shorter, which is cool. Then you have Pepper Adams. Now you got four different sax on here. You got Pepper Adams on a baritone. So you have two alto sax, a tenor sax, and a baritone sax. And it sounds like on some of these songs, I don't know who's playing what, but it seems like there's like a lead sax part, and then you have these other saxes doing like almost like backup vocals, what backup vocals would do, complementing that lead vocalist. So it's kind of cool. But Freddie Hubbard's on here on trumpet, Garnett Brown on trombone, McCoy Tyner on piano, Ron Carter on bass, and Al Harewood on drums. So it's pretty traditional jazz without congas and all these other instruments. So it's a little bit different for me for a Lou Donaldson album, but I like it. It's a good album. I kind of like the other cover a little more than this. I don't know when they switched this over, but yeah, but it sounds good. No issues with it. So I like it. Gotta figure out where I'm going to put all these after I go through them. This one I was happy to get. It's a Jimmy Cliff album, and there was supposed to be a Jimmy Cliff. I don't remember if it was live or a comp of some sort. It was supposed to come out on Record Store Day, and it just never. They pulled it, and no word of why or where or what. So this ice, I see. I don't want this ice to slip, and then I get a whiskey all down the front of me. It's so good. Anyway, yeah. Anyway, it just didn't get released, but I came across this recently. It's Jimmy Cliff, Struggling Man. Really good mix of not just a traditional reggae sounding album. It has some soul and R&B in here, but just a really good sounding album. Struggling Man's really good. Can't Stop Worrying, Can't Stop Loving You. Just, yeah, you should check this out. If you like kind of a reggae, R&B, soul kind of feel, that's what this is. And the album plays really nice, so it's enjoyable. Let's see. And speaking of reggae, I finally found this. I reviewed this on cassette this year and said, I thought it was a gimmick when I first did it. I'm just, listening to a cassette player on a Walkman kind of, tape player. And then I ended up liking the album. I'm like, wow, I never really listened to that album. And beside, Electric Avenue is just one of those songs I grew up with as a kid, but it has, what is that? Well, Killer on the Rampage is good. It's got political and social commentary on here. What is that? War Party, really good melody and all that, and that's definitely a political song. And the only one it's kind of like, him trying to seduce some lady is Drop Baby Drop. It's a kind of fun song, but the whole album's good. I was pleasantly surprised when I reviewed it and was playing around with the cassette, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh. So I found a good copy of it, clean, records clean, no pops, and this is, I think, as close to original as you're gonna get. It even has the an old sticker on there, Strawberries. Somebody was selling it for $4.99 at some point. I don't think it was a cutout. No. So yeah, it's a cool one. Then for Record Store Day, grab this Charlie Patton, and you could tell it's low. It's an old recording, but they did a good job with it. I don't think the vinyl itself has issues. I didn't notice anything that was like pops or anything like that there's an issue with. But this is all the Paramount recordings, and it's just, if you know Patton and his rough voice and all that, it's just cool. It's just a good album to have, and he was right around there as the times of Robert Johnson. So very early blues. They call him the father of the Delta blues, and they weren't sure if he was mixed like white with black or white with like Indian, Native American. Sorry, but they weren't really sure of his. They knew he was sort of like a mixed cultures, but they weren't really sure what his true background was. But dude could definitely sing the blues, whatever was in him, he could sing it. So, yeah, Charlie Patton. And then I did some cleaning up on the Beatles here. I did get the bug when this mono stuff came out, and I didn't have a lot of the Capitol stuff. I had pretty much their, what is it? Parliament? Am I saying that right? I want to say Paramount, but it's Parliament, right? You Beatles fans are probably laughing at me right now. Yeah, I liked it. Yeah, I would say yes. I enjoyed it. I think it was a good recording. Yeah, I don't know what they're selling it for now, so I don't know what money how much they're selling it for. So, I don't remember what I paid for it. But as far as if you like the blues, you like Charlie Patton or that early stuff, I would say yes. Unless you want to tell me how much they got it going for. That's got to be, I guess that's your decision kind of thing. But I enjoy it. Enjoyed it very much. It's one of the better recordings that I have of him too. I have some older ones, and they're not as good as what I thought this was. So this was a better recording than what I already have, I guess you could say. Hopefully that makes sense. Parlophone. I was way off. Anyway, have all the Parlophone, the English releases of the Beatles. I don't know. It really depends. You know, it's one of those things. If you're, you know, in the mood for the blues, yeah, because his styling's interesting. It's a mood thing. You know, if you're in the mood for some blues, some raw, just old school blues, that's it's for you. Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah, it depends. If you're looking for some Charlie Patton, I would say that's a good one to get. If you're not, then yeah, don't worry about it. It's probably going to be around. I think it was still at the record store. Not like people were jumping on it. I was just in particular looking for a better Charlie Patton recording, and that was one. So yeah, I definitely enjoyed it. I'll be playing it. That's part of what I'm trying to do too, is get my record collection down to a sizable amount to the things. I was looking through the stuff I pulled during the hurricane, and I'm really happy I pulled a lot of that. I'm not going to play it. So this leaves room for me to get back to those Charlie Patton albums, even my Billy Joel albums. A lot of albums I don't play because they're just kind of mixed in there, you know, so I'm trying to really reduce that down. But yeah, I was playing some Beatles catch up. So those mono albums came out, that box set, which I've heard mixed reviews on. And it's like, well, this is the opportunity to get some of those mono Capitol releases. So I went a little nuts and grabbed some. So I got the Meet the Beatles, got that one, and all these sound good. It's mono. I definitely prefer Beatles in stereo than mono. I just do. You can tell it's different. I just like that more openness to it. So yeah, so I got Meet the Beatles. Let's see. The Beatles' second album. I did have a copy of this, but I got rid of it a while ago because it was just not in good shape. So it's cool to have these in good shape. This version of Hard Day's Night, because I have the Parlophone version and with the black and white, which I like that cover better than this one. But yeah, so got this. Sounds good. Like I said, they're all in good shape. And each one of them comes with a little essay in there talking about the recording of it and all that. So I'm glad they did that. I think these are just on black vinyl. I don't think these were the colored ones, or I don't remember. Yeah, I think it's just on black vinyl. But so you get a little bit of that. I think the only thing they're not going to make available is that one that was extra in there. It was like an interview thing, and I don't want any interviews on vinyl anyway, so I'm good without that. But this is another one that I had at one point, just in really bad condition, and now I have a better one, better version. And the Beatles 65, picked that one up too. And I enjoyed listening to these again. I'm like, man, I got to listen to I like the early Beatles. I like the later Beatles. I like it all. And sometimes when you buy, reissues and stuff like this, it gets you to listen to them again. You're like, man, I really, really enjoy this. I'm doing other things in here and just playing an album. I'm like, yeah, it's been a while since I've had a little Beatles time. Let's see. And this is the last of them, the early Beatles. So, like I said, they did a good job with it, I think. I don't have anything to really compare it to. I put it on. I enjoy it. I don't know if any of these were also released in stereo or not. I'm not really sure. Uh-oh, somebody's missing a dog. Did they find their dog? Okay. So he's missing, yeah. Oh, yeah. I found the owner. There you go. These fireworks going off, and dogs are not happy tonight. I think it's nuts that they let people shoot some of these fireworks that they shoot off in a residential area. It's just it's insane, and they're drinking and kids around, and it's stupid to me. But um, yeah, so I really got caught up on my Beatles. I was looking. I have to do another look here and see who I in my collection I have the most of. I have a lot of Tom Petty. I have a lot of Neil Young. Um, those are the big ones. But Beatles, I have. How many Beatles do I have now? One, two. I have about 30 Beatles albums, including that number one thing. And I think that's a really good comp of good range of Beatles. Is that number one of the number ones or whatever? It's really good. I did get caught up on some Beck, which I was happy to do. I got Sea Change, and I think I wasn't expecting this when this first came out, like what he was going to do, and I was just like, that's a boring album or whatever. But as the years have gone by, and I'm getting more of Beck on vinyl. Probably end up getting everything. I got a hold of this, listened to it again. I'm like, oh, this is actually a really good album. So it's two albums. It's all right. The fact that I guess the songs are long enough where it didn't annoy me, but it's about 3 songs per side because, it came out at the age of CD. A lot of times I'd like to rather see them do 2 albums, 3 sides, and then like an etching, or just leave the other side blank where you get more on each album. So you're not flipping it so much, but I didn't feel like I was flipping too much on this one. So yeah, this one sounded good. No issues with the vinyl. It's a nice gatefold. And I think it's just on, black vinyl. Thought it came with something in here. I don't know, but yeah, it's a good one. Sounds good. Did you buy anything off the? No, not even. I'm glad I didn't hear about it. To be honest, no, I didn't. Did you get anything? I did not. This what I'm showing you is me slowing down, right? But I did not. So I'm not going there. I'm not gonna do it. Let me know if you got anything though. And I picked this one up too. This is cool. It's Guerrero, and I guess Beck grew up in California. I forgot where, but I looked it up on Wikipedia as far as the background of this. And it was a term that he heard growing up, and it meant like light complexion, blonde man. And he heard that quite a bit growing up, and it just kind of stuck. And one day he was like, I'm going to do something with that. And I guess that's what the idea behind this was. But this is a really good album. I hadn't heard it before. And from what I understand, it's like one of his best rated albums. And when I was looking for some Beck, I was just like, well, let me pick that one and that one, just to kind of get it going. But yeah, I was really glad I picked this one because it's a solid album. Very good. Let's see. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good on the Beck. What do I have now? I have 9 Beck albums. I want to say he has. How many albums does Beck have? Let's see. You got. I want to know. Let's see. You said it's 50% off and free shipping. And did you get them already? Did they come in pretty quick? Because I did that. Wasn't that one you discover? Or something else I ordered from last year, and it took like a good month or so for the and they didn't really tell you when they were coming in. I forgot who I used, but it took a while. So the Cranberries, Three Doors Down, live. Okay. Sheryl Crow. What'd you get? Tuesday Night Music Club? Okay, now wait a minute. So $15 a piece, or you didn't get all those for $15? I'm assuming it's $15 a piece, because that sounds about right, right? They'll be here in a few days. I've ordered them before they ship within. Okay, that's good. Yeah, yes. So you're telling me you got all those? What? A piece of. Hold on. Let me make sure I get the whole message here, because I kind of asked you multiple things there. Oh, okay. See, I'm going to blame it on you. How long does it how long does it go for? I'll have to see. When is the sale ending? Okay, so $15 per record. Okay, that's definitely reasonable. And January 6th. Oh, great. That's interesting. That's an interesting date that they picked. So did you get? I'm assuming it was Tuesday Night Music Club, because I don't think Cheryl's released anything else other than that, and a Christmas album and a couple live albums. Really like to see her catalog. I have too many copies of Tuesday Night Music Club too. I have an unopened colored vinyl version. I need to move along. All I need is I have the Record Store Day one, and then I have another one that's black vinyl. And that's all I need. Where'd it go? This one I was happy to get. I was looking for this for a long time. It's not of any major importance. If you're a Clapton fan, it's cool to have. I was how many Weird Al do I still need? I think I'm halfway through the Weird Al, but I'm looking for that greatest hits comp, of course, because you got to have that. So anyway, if you guys don't get it, this is a little bit of an inside joke there, because there's no Weird Al in my collection. There's some in Gary's collection though. He'll be happy to play it for you. But this one I was really happy to get a hold of. I looked and looked and looked, and a lot of times it was either really expensive at one point, or they had the cutouts. A lot of these are cutout bins. In fact, I have this on CD, and I got it in 89, and just when I ordered it from I forgot what record store it was in the mall, but they were like, "Yeah, that's it. You better get your order in now, because it doesn't look like they're going to have any more or whatever." And I hadn't seen it. I've never seen the CD anywhere, so I have it, that original CD, and then I was glad to finally get this on vinyl. And it sounds, what a difference too on the vinyl. It sounded warmer, and I was like, holy crap, this does sound better. It had just a couple little pops. I cleaned it first, so I think another cleaning, it's going to be really good shape. It's a clean album. So, and the guy that sent it did a really good job. But it was an okay movie. It's one of those Mickey Rourke movies. It actually had Christopher Walken in it. He plays a bad guy. So it's not a horrible movie, but I just liked what Clapton was doing. Clapton doesn't sing on it at all. It's all basically instrumental stuff. There's a couple other bands on here, blues based. The only one that was kind of weird was a song by The Breaks, Living in the Real World, and that's kind of like an 80s song, but it has horns and stuff, so it weirdly fits. But the rest of the songs on here that were blues songs kind of went with this, because he's a country boy. He's kind of playing a country boy, and Clapton does a instrumental version of Dixie, and man, that's killer, with Nathan East on bass, just cranking through there. It's Clapton on guitar, Nathan East on bass, just killer, really good. But it has JB Hutto and the New Hawks, and that's Pretty Baby. That was a cool blues song. And then Magic Sam, Call Me If You Need Me. It fits really good. And then I thought there was another one. guess that was it. Oh no, Peggy Scott and Joe Benson. I want to love you, baby. It's like blues stuff, so it's good. But yeah, if you ever see it, Clapton fan. Like I said, I really like it's Traveling East and the Homeboy song, Ruby's Loft. The melodies are very similar to each other, but it's just a nice. I just like what he did with the instrumental bits in there. It's really good. I didn't really even look to see what was probably dropped off of there in comparison to the CD. I don't know if this has the same. It seems like it might be a little less than what the CD had on it, but the album's solid. I really like it. All right. All right, I had a copy of this. Hey Rob, what is up? If you want to come up, that's cool. I know it's about 20 minutes till midnight. I'm just running through my last picks of the year and really getting myself set up to get my collection in order. And so these are the last ones that are going to go in, and I have a whole bunch that have already been pulled out, which you guys saw me do. But yeah, if anybody wants to come up, just let me know. I'll put a link. But yeah, I had a copy of this, but they remastered it recently. Yeah, I might be. In 20 minutes, I'm just going to look out and see if anybody's awake. I think everybody's in bed already. So I just said, I'm going live, and I'll turn this video into, this. Yeah, that's cool. Just turn this into a regular video later or something. But yeah, this is a great album. This did have a couple pops on it. My original copy from like 86 or whatever, when this came out, had pops on freaking In Your Eyes, of course, my favorite song on the album. And I cleaned it still. Had pops. When I first played this one, I was like, it had little static issues. I'm like, ugh. But I cleaned it, and then it's gone. Cleaned it right up. So this plays nice and clean. So have a nice copy of So. All right. And a little Jimmy. All right. So this was part of the box set. What was the box set called? Hendrix Songs for Groovy Children, which I think that's like one of the coolest titles, man, is like just Songs for Groovy Children. I don't know if that's something he said or came up or wrote down or something. It just seems like a Jimi Hendrix thing, just that title. But it's the Fillmore East concerts. And I kind of want to get this. I don't know who has it. I don't remember when it came out or what, but this sounds freaking great. I mean, the jams and just solid. Yeah, Isabella, Machine Gun, Foxy Lady, Hear My Train a Comin', Stone Free. So there's only like 5 songs on here, but it's just, damn, it's good. It's really, really good. Sounds good. This Hendrix, when the Hendrix family puts something out, they do a good job. I'm really impressed with what they do. They're definitely, the quality is definitely important to them. So, damn, somebody's shooting them off right out here. You can hear this freaking fireworks going on. Buddy, I'm pretty sure, because I remember them saying Buddy Miles. Gary's asking Buddy Miles, or who do I like better? I'm probably more Mitch Mitchell. Even I do like what I'm starting to hear the difference. It was with Buddy Miles, it was more how do you describe it? It was heavier. That makes sense. Like Mitch Mitchell was kind of, I think, more like jazz influenced. So you could hear that, but Buddy Miles is heavier, but I like that too, especially on this stuff. So, but I think I'd have to go with Mitch Mitchell. Yeah, very, very close, but Mitch Mitchell. All right. Also picked this up. It's Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. And what is it? I forgot the guy's last name. The whatever tapes. I don't want to fall out of here. Whatever tapes. It was the board guy. And he taped this concert live in Edinburgh. Excuse me, whiskey's coming back. 1982, 3 albums, and just wow, this is fun. This is a fun album. Just listening to Petty and his banter with the audience. They do a couple things. They try some things with vocals, and it doesn't work great. And Petty's like, well, that didn't work, and we got to work on that. So they're having fun. They're trying stuff. It capture the energy of it. So it's just a really. I was happy to get a hold of this. This kind of went quick. I don't even know if it's still available, if you can get your hands on it that easy. But if you can and you're a Petty fan, I definitely recommend this bad boy. Yeah, definitely. Let's see. They put out Stepping Stone with Buddy on drums and redid it with Mitch on drums. You should compare those. Yeah, okay, so Stepping Stone. Okay. Any cool covers on it? Are we talking about the Tom Petty? Yeah, the Petty this just came out. Like, I know Sam ordered it. He got it. I think he got like colored vinyl from the Petty website. So I don't know if it's still available there. But it's good. I'm telling you, it's a live recording. So you know what to expect from that, but it's not a bad live recording. Like, I think I'm going to be bringing up one here that I can kind of talk about, but it's a good recording. You can hear when he gets away from the mic and comes back up, but I love that in a live recording. You can hear the audience in there and the energy. It's just there. It's really well done. I don't remember. Let's see. American Girl, Listen to Your Heart. No, yeah, they do. They do. Where is it? They do Shout. Anything that's rock and roll, but that's Tom Petty, isn't it? I know he did another one. See, they only have like the partial titles. Let me see what the titles are here. I think they did a couple. Let's see. American Girl, Listen to Your Heart, A Thing About You, You Got Lucky, I Need to Know, Don't Do Me Like That, I'm in Love, Change of Heart. They do Louie Louie. That was the other one. And they did. There's something in Louie Louie. That they brought in one of his songs and back into Louie Louie or something like that. So, yeah, I think those are the two. Yeah, Louie Louie and Shout, I think, were the two covers on here. But it's just good. The band's tight and it's fun. I mean, it's just so good. Yeah. Yeah, what year is the recording? Right here, 1982. Live in Edinburgh, 1982. It's so good. It's fun to get some of this stuff. You know, knowing you're not going to get any new Tom Petty, but they're releasing stuff like this. It's like, man, that's so good. All right. I picked up the Ramones for Record Store Day. This sounds good. Greatest hits. It's fun. I like this. It's probably all the Ramones I need now. I have, I think, their first album and Rocket to Russia, and now this. And I think I'm good. Don't really need to expand too much on the Ramones for me, because I think it can get a little repetitive. You can hear on here, though, kind of like where they made changes and things, which is kind of cool. So I think that's why I'm like, I'm good. You know, and somebody put in the comments, like, how do you tell people to just go get a greatest hits when you're trying to figure out a band? You know, let them deep dive. And I'm like, well, because sometimes it happens where all you want is the greatest hits. You know, if I didn't have those other two, this would probably be all I need of the Ramones. And that's just how it is with some bands. But this was good. Sounds good, everything. Let's see. Okay. Gave this one a listen. I was back and forth on this one. Do I want to keep it? Because I'm not thrilled with a couple of the songs on here. But it captured a moment. It's pretty cool. It did capture, what time is it? 10 minutes. It captured this moment. They put on this free concert because I guess somewhere along the line they had to cancel because Sammy had like a strep throat. just vocal issues, and they had to cancel. And he told them, "We'll be back and doing a free concert," and he did. They went back to Dallas and did a free concert, and just listening to the banter and him talking, it sounds like they kind of had a time frame because they're like, "Oh, they're gonna kick us out of here. We need to get going," or that was just his way of ending the show. But it's good. It's definitely it's got rough points in the recording, but it's not bad as far as hearing the whole band, not as far as quality, but it's a little not complete in some areas, but it's good. It is a good, fun live recording to catch the moment. And they do Pound Cake. I'm not a fan of Judgment Day, but there's only one way to rock. I like that song, so that was good. And then I think Run Around was another one. I was like, eh. They do Why Can't This Be Love, Panama, and I like Sammy doing Panama. They do Apolitical Blues and Finish What You Started, so those are really good. And I Can't Drive 55, that's a fun live song. And then Best of Both Worlds and Top of the World. So for the most part, I do like it, and they did a good job. It's 2 albums, 3 sides, and then they have an etching, and yeah, it's cool. So it caught the moment. I would say as a Van Halen fan, completist, I would get it. I like this era of Van Halen more than the early. So I like it. I'm going to see. It's going to be one of those I'm going to kind of be thinking about. But for right now, I'm holding on to it. It's a good one. All right. So I gave this one a second listen. And I was really happy I got a hold of this. I'm a Tom Waits fan, and this is Scarlett Johansson doing Anywhere I Lay My Head, and it's her doing all Tom Waits songs. And it's kind of cool. I looked it up. I was kind of doing stuff when I listened to it the first time, and it's very dreamy. This is a very good picture to give you an idea what's in here. It's a very dreamy album. It does, on the second side, it gets a little keyboardy and different, but I think what she does is really, her and whoever she did this with, they captured like the essence of Tom Waits, I guess, and the songs and the different noises he likes to use, even though their sound a little more electronic and not natural like Tom Waits. Even though I saw a couple live recordings, and there was quite a bit acoustic songs in there, or not acoustic, but live, true instruments that aren't like keyboards and stuff. So I could be wrong on that, but it's definitely more dreamy. But she does a good job. Her vocals are buried in there with it. But if you're listening, you can hear what she's doing. She's letting the atmosphere be more of the leading of the way kind of thing on this. You got to listen to it. It's really good. The second time I heard it was even better than the first. And what made it kind of even more special or cool was David Bowie's on this. And he's on, I heard a man's voice the first time I listened to it. And I was like, who's that? And I think there's another male vocal somewhere later. But the 2 tracks Bowie's on. And then once I knew he was on it, and I listened to it again, I was like, oh, you could hear him in there. So that was kind of cool. But it's pretty neat that she was able to get him on this. But good album. If you're into Tom Waits, it's kind of cool. This will not go under Johansson. This will go under Tom Waits. That's where I'm going to put it. So yeah. So on here, I don't know who else. Tunde, I don't know who that is. Dabibi. He does some vocals on there, so I don't know if that's the other male vocal I heard later on. But yeah, they have Jingle Bells, tambourine, pump organ, vibes, electric piano, banjo, acoustic guitar, Nigerian logs, saxophone. So yeah, it's good. It's very, like I said, very dreamy. But definitely a keeper. But it has. See, I'm still learning Tom Waits, all of his stuff. So I have a lot of his albums. I think I'm only missing maybe 3 or 4 later albums, but I have to. He has a lot of material, and a lot of it you got to learn. You got to learn Tom Waits. So I'm getting there. But she does Fawn from Alice, Town with No Cheer from Swordfish Trombones, Falling Down from Big Time, Anywhere I Lay My Head, which I really liked, and that's from Rain Dogs. Fannin Street I liked, and that's from the Orphans, Ballers, Brawlers, and Bastards. There's a song for Joe. Huh. So that's interesting. That is not a Tom Waits song. That's the only song that's not. Yeah, that's the only song that's not a Tom Waits song, and you wouldn't know the difference. So very cool. Scarlett Johansson wrote it with David Allen Siddick. And then there's Green Grass from Real Gone. I Wish I Was in New Orleans from Small Change. I think that was his second album. I Don't Want to Grow Up, Bone Machine. She does a good job on that. No One Knows I'm Gone, and Who Are You from Bone Machine. So just very good, very enjoyable album. I liked it. All right, last two. This popped up, and I just had to grab it. It's a bootleg, cool bootleg. This is a 1973 tour. It's called Extra Special. It's a mess. All the track listings are out of order. I listened to it, and somebody had already started writing on there, up there at the top, side 1. And they were reforming the songs, and they didn't finish here because there were some more mistakes. So I was like, hey, in the tradition, it's a bootleg. They wrote on it. I'm going to write on it. I'll be part of the history of this album. So when I'm gone, somebody ends up with it, they'll know what the track listing is, and they'll see somebody took the time to care and put the actual order on. So it had the tracks were out of order. Then Don't Be Denied isn't even on there. So I just scratched that out. And it had The War Is Over as one, Southern Man, and that was fine. But then Alabama wasn't the third song, it was the fourth song, where the third one was The Loner. And then there's a fifth song that wasn't listed on there either called New Mama. So, yeah, just went through and did the same thing here. New Son for Zach, I don't even know. And this War Is Over, that's just him chanting The War Is Over. That was it. That's all that was on there. So I went through and did it. The albums, there's 2 albums in here. They're just blank labels. Somebody wrote C and D on the second one. I figured out what side A was, so I put A and B on that one. So whoever gets this in the future, they'll know what's on there and what side to put on and all that stuff. But recording's fun. It's not the greatest. It's a bootleg, but it's not the worst I've ever heard either. I enjoyed listening to the whole thing. It's kind of like just being at a Neil Young concert. Really cool. Let me see. What time is it? 11:58. So just really cool. It's right around harvest and after the gold rush and that stuff. So very cool. Let's get my last album in before the new year. I was pleasantly surprised. I like this. Neil Young, Trans. It was definitely him going into electronic sound on some parts, but not on all of the parts. When he went electronic, you could tell he might not get this in because I think we're at the New Year's mark. Let me see real quick. Because there's a lot of fireworks going off right now. No, that's it. Oh, something went wrong. I think we're done. Is it New Year? Yeah, I think it's New Year. Almost. Oh, 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7. I've got porn music. Yeah. I don't think I'll get in trouble for playing this right here. All right. Fireworks going off. So whoever's here, Happy New Year. this is still going. I don't know. So happy New Year, everyone. It's kind of cool to do this. Yeah, the fireworks are going nuts. So I'm going to be back in just a second. I'm going to see if anybody's up in the house and tell them Happy New Year. And I'll just be gone a minute, and I'll be right back. Enjoy the room. Enjoy the room. Okay, everybody's pretty much up. Slightly less. Yeah. So there we go. Everybody's pretty much up. Allie, she got woken up by the fireworks. My wife was kind of awake. So, and my other daughter down there. So, yep, that was kind of cool to see everybody. All right. Invite. Copy. Boom. There we go. So I'll get this last one in and done. Rob's coming up. But yeah, this was good. And what was interesting, I think it was the very first song, Little Thing Called Love. If you listen to the guitar in there, I'll bring you up here and finish my little story. What's up?
Hey, man. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Here we go. Starting it off.
Yeehaw.
There we go. Get my volume adjusted. I was doing my last album. So Neil Young's Harvest Moon album. What was that song? Where it's like dun 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 dun. Was that Harvest or what the hell song was that?
I don't know that album too well. I haven't, but
big release off of there. But what I noticed is this is he's definitely using more keyboards, and he goes overboard on the electronic sound a couple times on it. But
that
it's still kind of cool.
80s.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is Geffen, so he was still trying to stick it to Geffen, I think.
Sure.
but it's not a bad album. He actually does a version of Mr. Soul on here, and it's remade, but I enjoy it. It's really good. But the little thing called Love, I believe that was the song. He's using the same guitar pattern that he did on Harvest Moon. So he just took that and stuck it in another song. So it's pretty cool. But the one I really like, there's a song called Like an Inca, the very last song. And it's just got a great melody to it. It's just a fun song. So, and Nils Lofgren is on here too, doing guitar work. So
that's
who
cool.
You've come across now with your Springsteen.
Absolutely.
And there's a Springsteen I came across today. And I don't know if it's available. I don't know if it's one of those things that these streaming services put together. I need to find it. It looks like he's doing a whole bunch of live cover songs. And where is it? Oh, here it is.
He did a covers album, was his most recent album, but then he's putting out a lot of digital archival stuff lately too.
Yeah, I have that one. That was the soul one, basically.
The Strong Survivor, whatever it's called.
Yeah, and I like that one. But he did a lot of songs that. This is called the Live Series Songs Undercover Volume 3.
Yes.
And I don't know if that's available or if that's just a digital thing.
I think it is. I mean, he's got a ton. I don't even know where you get the digital stuff from. So
I don't know, but it's
there's a ton of digital stuff he's got out right now.
Yeah, but I'd love to have this and I didn't get to it, but the 15th song is Ghostbusters Live.
Wow.
And I'm like, I got to see.
I saw that it was last week or 2 weeks ago. He just released Live from Toronto 1984. I think it was something like that. So I might find that somewhere, but I don't listen to a lot of digital stuff. So prefer to have a record, but
yeah. And this picture looks kind of familiar because he's going through that crowd and he's got his hands up. I've seen that picture before. And there wasn't it him? He put out a DVD probably 15 years ago where people selected songs and he played them or something.
I think so.
And I have that downstairs. I'm going to have to look, but he even does Jersey Girl on here, which is the Tom Waits song.
Yep.
He kills it. I mean, he wrote it, I'm pretty sure Tom Waits wrote that one, right? That's Tom Waits.
Well, I know nothing of Tom Waits, so
it makes you. If you listen to the first Tom Waits, I think you'll like it because you got Old 55 on there, which the Eagles did.
Right.
And more singer-songwriter. It's before his voice gets gruff. It's more singer-songwriter kind of thing.
Right on.
It'd be interesting to see if you get into Tom Waits early and how far you can make it. Because I love how artistic he gets later with all these sounds and his voice gets gruff and all this.
Yeah.
So he's kind of fun. But yeah, I can't imagine. Yeah, he's doing Ghostbusters on this.
That's crazy. I gotta look that up.
But there's another one too, because the Ghost of Tom Joad, obviously.
I have it.
Called Tom Joad on here, just Tom Joad, and it's different. And it's basically, if you've ever read the Grapes of Wrath,
I have.
He's taking you through the book. It takes you right off of Tom getting a ride from the truck driver in the beginning, meeting the preacher, looking for his family, and grandpa dying along the way and all that. It's shit. Yes. I don't know why you held that one back. Cause I like the Ghost of Tom Joad a little bit better, but it's cool.
That album's still growing on me. That's been a real slow burn. It's similar to Nebraska, so I should like it, but it's
not as raw, but it's acoustic. But the one about the two Mexican brothers who came over to find a better life, and they get messed up with methamphetamine, and one dies in the fire. Just great storytelling. So but I swept up on the Beatles. I got all that mono stuff just to kind of I know, but I didn't have it, and I'm like,
if you don't have it, I think it makes a lot of sense.
And the price was right, and it came with a little essay in there so I could read about each one.
Yeah.
and it was cheaper in the long run than getting the whole box set, which I know a lot of
You
people
don't
weren't.
need the whole box set because it's an
Yeah.
extra $150 for that
Yeah.
the Beatles story, which nobody I have it and I've never listened to it.
Yeah, I wouldn't listen to it.
No.
So I have a lot of that stuff on CD, but I didn't have it on vinyl. So I'm like,
That makes sense. I mean, yeah, for people that don't have it,
Mhm.
I'm not a fan of the North American albums. So I like the UK ones. So
Yeah, I do too.
I
That's
have
why.
my originals from the 60s. So if I
Yeah.
really want to listen to them, I'll listen to them. But I have listened to them maybe twice in the 30 years I've owned them.
Yeah.
Just because it's not that I don't know, maybe being a snob, but I just, if I'm going to listen to the Beatles music, I want to listen to it how they intended it to be,
Hmm.
not how some asshole at the record label thought it should be.
Right.
So,
Yeah, it was more to complete it,
of
kind of
course.
thing.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to go too deep into it, but I do like, the English, the Parlophone. Is that what it's called?
Yep.
I keep
Yep.
saying it wrong, but yeah, I always had those first. Those were always reissued first, I guess, anyway. So
Yeah.
and I definitely prefer the stereo stuff to the mono.
Well, I mean, speaking of those ones specifically, I mean, you look at Hard Day's Night, the version that you've got there, which is the United Artists soundtrack.
Right.
It sucks. You have half of a studio album and then orchestral arrangements that no one gives a shit about.
Yeah.
Give me the US version or give me the UK version of the album that is actually a studio album.
Yeah.
And I'll listen to it, right? And it's the same with Help. Help's the same kind of thing.
Yeah. So, see, I have 2 copies. I don't know what I have on Help. I forgot what I had on that. I mean, there's times where I'm like, it'd be cool to have some old. No, I just have the UK version of Help. To have some old copies, and I have that one of I think I showed you, was it Rubber Soul, that was like not even together.
Yeah.
And that thing still plays fine. I played it the other day. I'm like, still plays fine. So
takes my UK ones are like that because I've got, for the most part, all the first pressing UK ones, and the jackets are just beat to shit because I'm not going to pay $500 for something that is in really, really good shape.
Yeah.
But the discs, even though they're a little bit scratched, they play just fine. I'm like, that's all I need.
Yeah.
All I need. I've got the mono remasters if I have to have the perfect audio quality. But for me, those, the experience is listening to that original 60-year-old disc from England.
Yeah. And where it's been and how it's traveled. And
right. It had a life before I got it.
Yeah.
It maybe had several lives before I got it. So
yeah, no kidding. I mean, something like that. That's over 60 years old or so.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's cool. But I was this was a fun one. This Neil Young that I picked up.
That's cool.
As soon as I saw it, I'm like, yeah, that's coming home with me. Done.
Yep.
But I don't know who recorded it or how it went out. I'm sure you've seen that video of Neil going through the record store in the 70s or whatever, saying, hey, that's my shit. I'm taking it home. So I wonder if this is one of those,
Who knows?
But it kind of, I joined the history of it by writing on it myself.
Yeah, I heard you talking about
it.
That's great. Why
let's
not
have some fun with this thing,
I love bootlegs. I think they're fascinating. It's hard to get a good one. But
yeah, that one's not bad. The vinyl itself is quiet, and other than being not the greatest of a recording, it's still cool, and you still are there, and you can hear him talking, and it puts you in that moment. That's why I like that.
I probably have a couple dozen bootlegs. I did a whole video on bootlegs.
Yeah,
and I never posted it because I'm like, man,
not
that anything's gonna. No, I've mentioned a couple of videos, but
okay.
I was just afraid. I'm like, well, bootlegs technically are illegal, so I'm like, well, not that I just go after some guy on YouTube showing a bootleg, but I'm like, I won't publish that video. So
and maybe that's what I could have. Yeah. All right. Good night, Gary.
Good night, Gary.
Yep. Yeah. I don't really have that. I have CDs that are more like bootlegs. I was picking.
Yeah, I got some of those too.
I don't really have too much. No.
I've got this one record store in the next town over from me, about 20 minutes away, that I go to fairly frequently. And it's one of it's mainly like Blu-rays and DVDs that people resell, and then they have a vinyl section. And for some reason, someone keeps bringing in bootlegs there. And I see bootlegs every time, but they're those ones from the 70s that are in a white, and you've seen them before. They're in the white jacket, and then they have a colored piece of paper on the front with like a black and white photocopy on it. And, you know.
Yeah, this isn't too far from it.
Yeah, so I have one of them. I picked up, there was a Linda Ronstadt one from, I don't know where it was from, the Roxy or something like that in the mid-70s, and I picked that up, and it was fantastic. So,
yeah, you don't know what you're going to get. It's pretty cool.
No, that's the thing. They're all hit and miss. I got a few Beatles bootlegs that are pretty good. So,
yeah, like I got a reissue of the Butcher cover just so I can have the Butcher cover around or whatever. It's even colored vinyl. It's not,
Yeah.
But with that, I don't know if I told you the story, because the record store I went to, they had several Beatles albums. Yeah, I think I told you about this. And the titles are just off. Something wasn't.
You showed me a weird copy of Revolver.
Yeah. Yes. And they ended up being like the one I brought home. The Butcher cover ended up being fine. I brought home a different one, but it had like greatest guitar country picking album inside of it.
Weird.
So it wasn't even Beatles. It wasn't even like they were trying to be Beatles, and it was an old album. So that's when I called the record store. I was like, hey, you guys want to check those albums out? And yeah, they opened them all up, and they're like, crap. Yeah. So some guy,
somebody conned them.
Yeah, and they put in a couple legit, like they had the reissues of the Red and the Blue. They had the Not Let It Be, what is it? Revolver, the latest one that
the Super Deluxe reissue of Revolver.
Yeah, it's just the album one. It wasn't like the whole thing. So
the John Martin mix. Yeah.
So, and I told them, don't open those because I think those are legit. I said, but you check these, but they ended up opening them all. So it kind of brought the value down for them a little bit, but they were still like, at least we know.
Right. Sure.
It's not just because it doesn't make them look great by not knowing
shit. Yeah, exactly.
Right. So they were more happy just to go ahead and get it open, make sure the garbage was out.
Makes sense.
Yeah. But I'm going to be interested to see what vinyl does coming up this year. I feel like it's kind of,
I don't know.
In our world,
I hope it doesn't, because there's so much good stuff coming out. Everything's being put out on vinyl. But the flip side is it's getting way too expensive. And all these friggin' variants are getting out of control, and an artist will put like 15 different versions of an album. You're just like, holy shit. And then you get these people that buy records that don't even own record players, and they keep them sealed, and they just buy them for the sake of buying. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? What are you buying it for if you're not going to listen to the goddamn thing?
Yeah, I don't know.
I got to keep it sealed. For what? Might be worth something. It's not going to be worth something, because if you bought it at a record store, there's tens of thousands of them out there in the world. They're not worth shit.
Right.
A
select few. It's if you get lucky. Like one that I pulled out, I was kind of surprised, and I did a little research on it. I never listened to it. That's why I'm getting rid of it. But it's Amy Mann from Till Tuesday. Yeah. This mental illness. I guess it's hard to get a hold of on vinyl.
Who knew?
And sealed, it sold for $150, $175 on eBay.
Yeah.
And open, it's around $80. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
People want it, and it has very few for sale, and a lot of them sold. So I'm like, that's gonna be a nice, easy out.
Nice. Yeah.
So you don't know, though. You just don't know which ones are gonna be.
No, I never buy them for that, and I open everything. I don't keep the shrink wrap. Throw it in the damn garbage.
Yeah.
I
like my hype, because it does help me.
Sometimes lot of you guys, I'll keep the hype sticker, but not very often. Like I'll cut around and just stick it in the jacket.
Yeah, that's what I do. A lot of times I'll pull my album out, and here comes the hype sticker.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like that because it gives you a little bit of the history or what version it is or something,
Yeah.
Reminds you.
I'm going to go through at least my Beatles records, because I have so many, and I have like a dozen different Sgt. Peppers. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little mailing label size sticker on the back of the protective sleeve that I put it in, and I'm going to document what it is. Right, it's the 1967 UK first mono pressing with the matrix number, whatever, or if it's whatever it is. Like I said, I've got like a dozen Sgt. Peppers. I know what they are, but it'd be good if at a glance I could just pull it out, and at the bottom on the back there's a little stick tells me what it is.
Oh yeah,
I'm going to do that with those, but I'm not going to do it with my whole collection. I'll do it with the Beatles anyway because I've got so many of them. But the other ones, some of them I keep the hype sticker, but if it doesn't say anything, if it's like first time on vinyl, who gives a shit, I'll throw that in the garbage. But if it actually lists a bunch of stuff, I sometimes keep it.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I have a couple I need to open. I have it on my list to do. I still have like a Glass Houses that's supposed to be a first pressing. I'm going to open that bad boy up. There's 2 other albums. Folk Singer I need to do because 2 box sets didn't turn out very good, so I'm going to finally get to that 3rd one.
Sure.
But I mean, there's some that I keep sealed. Like I have the Sheryl Crow over there that's sealed because I kind of thought I'm going to end up selling it anyway. It's just Tuesday Night Music Club. It's on the color variant.
Yeah, it's the Record Store Day one, right?
Well, not that one. I'm keeping that one. No, I got it when they finally, a year later, like November of last year, they put Tuesday Night Music Club out.
You got the same one I did. It's on like a blue something.
Yeah.
Kind of a bluish. Yeah.
So I got the black and the blue, and I'm like, I opened the black one because, I'm not always going to play the Record Store Day one.
Right.
I'd rather have another copy to kind of play. And so I kind of kept the other one sealed because I'm like, I knew at the time, like, why did I buy that extra one? It's like, why did I do that?
Yeah.
So that one will probably end up going. And
I thought of you when I was at the record store today. We were at the mall, which I rarely go to, and there's a store that has records. It's not a record store, but they sell some records. And they had Tuesday Night Music Club, which I have, and they had her latest Evolution, which I have, and then they had that picture disc that you just got.
Oh yeah,
and it was like $40. I'm like, I don't think so. And then they had Threads, which was $29. I'm like, that album sucks. But I'm like, I should get those. But I'm like, I'm trying not to buy so many records next year. Or now I guess this year, we're now into this year. So
we are in it. Yeah. That's where
I'm trying to just buy the things that I absolutely have to have.
Yeah.
Try not to go to the record store because I'm gonna try and spend the money on other things. I'd like to upgrade my amp. I need to buy an ultrasonic record cleaner. There's a few infrastructure kind of things that I will put some money toward. So I'm starting out with the best of intention to buy a little less records and just buy the stuff I absolutely have to have.
Yeah.
We'll see how long that lasts.
Your video, I'm like, this is so clickbaity, but you're making fun of clickbait at the same time.
Absolutely.
I knew by the title. I knew what you were doing right there in the beginning.
Absolutely. I just thought, you know what? It's fun for the end of the year. Why not?
Yeah. No, that was a good, I watched that. And that's, I think I'm good with everything. I'm going to use this year to really, again, this past year was supposed to be me getting more familiar with my records, which I did a little bit.
Yeah.
But really moving stuff out and just getting it down to the essential. Like when Sheryl Crow first started and we were 2-3 albums in, I'm like, oh, I'm going to like everything she does. But now I realize I'm not going to be a completist on her.
Right.
Just not. So that's where I need to go. Okay, these are the artists. These are the albums you like. And the other ones, they need to go. You're not, like even the early, I have the first couple Bowie albums. I'm like, I'm not really that into them. But when you get into the later, the Hunky Dory and Ziggy Stardust and all that, I'm like, yeah, those are the albums I should have.
Of course.
So there's
some. The other thing I was thinking too is, and I thought of like a half a dozen records off the top of my head where I really love the artist, but they have an album that for whatever reason I bought it and then I never really, I listened to it once, but I never. So I'm like, I'm going to buy less records, and I'm going to get into those records that I know I'm going to love because I love everything else that they've done, but I just haven't got around to listening to, for whatever reason, these few random records by artists that I love. So I'm like, all right, to your point, I'm going to, instead of buying new records, I'm going to be a little more familiar with some of the stuff I've got.
Yeah, absolutely. And see if it's, we get excited. Sometimes we get hyped up and we don't even know why. And we buy an album and then we're like, why did I buy that? It's that moment. And I don't think it's really FOMO. I think it's just an excitement factor.
Right.
Of, whatever caused you to get excited about it, you did.
And I don't know about you, but for me to really get into a record, I probably have to listen to it half a dozen times in a short period of time for it to really, get in there. And some albums I buy it, I'm super excited about it, but I don't have time to listen to them 6 times. I listen to it once or twice.
Yeah.
And then I sleeve it and shelve it, and then I forget about it.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a couple still in there that I bought and it ended up getting put away because I was pretty good about cleaning it, listening to it, putting it away. But sometimes I missed that step of listening and it just got put away. And I found like 3 albums. I'm like, crap, I haven't even listened to this stuff.
Yep.
So, like Thin Lizzy, I had in there for 2 years. Finally put it on. I'm like, what the hell's wrong with me, man? This is a great freaking album,
Yeah.
But yeah, there's some of those albums like, the Division Bell by Pink Floyd. It took me 20 years to get into that album because I just pushed it off and said, no, this isn't good. And then all of a sudden I'm like, damn, how the hell do I like it now? Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah. I've got a bunch like that I never gave enough love to because at one point I was buying so many records, I was buying them fast and I could listen to them.
Yeah. So I did try to get in. So I started the journey into the Blue Rodeo after our last live.
Oh yeah.
And I was having a hard time.
Really?
I don't know why.
Huh.
And I don't know if it's the 80s production. His voice makes me a little. I don't know.
There's 2 different singers, right? So it's Greg's voice that you probably don't like so much.
Yeah, it seems like he's whoever's the. It sounds like there's another on the first album.
On the first, so they're equals, like they're the 2 main guys. But on the first album, I think Greg has 3/4 of the songs.
Okay, it seemed like, and it was like I couldn't quite. I'm like, something about the voice, it's just not working for me.
Really interesting.
So I'm like, and
you like Tom, but you like Tom Waits and Bob Dylan.
Oh, it's so much different though.
Yeah, but Greg's so much better of a singer than those 2 idiots.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the production, the 80. I don't know what it was.
Well, it's true. It's true. Outskirts has a very late 80s production feel to it. Yeah. Absolutely. There's a version of that. They remastered it on vinyl in 2012 and stripped away the 80s production.
So I probably need to give that a listen because it was something that put me. I think what it triggered in me was I really did not like 80s country.
Right.
And I listened
That's
to the
a huge element of that album for
sure. And even the second one a bit. And I was like,
all right. So you know what you do then?
Yeah.
Scrap those 3 records. Don't go any further with those.
Yeah.
You like Neil Young, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you like Harvest.
Yeah.
Okay. So Blue Rodeo has an album called 5 Days in July.
Yep. I have that. Yep.
That is their answer to Harvest. It is them paying homage to the Harvest album.
Okay. So that is on my list to listen to because I wrote that down because you said check out these 3 and check out that one. So, but I did switch over.
5 Days in July is regarded as the 90s version of Harvest. It's that good.
Okay. So that's okay. So that's still on my list.
It's considered by far to be their best record, hands down.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll give that one a shot. But I did switch over to Adam Baldwin and I listened to the Lighthouse.
Concertos and Serenades. Yeah.
What a freaking great album. Holy fuck me, that's good.
I tell you, that is one of my top 10 albums of all time.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it. I can get it for about $40 right now, but it's not.
Really, I'll get it for you then because you can get it in any record store up here.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna look around a little bit, but
You can order it all. You can order it directly from him off his Bandcamp page.
Oh, maybe I need to do that too and check that. I didn't go there.
Yeah.
But the lyrics, the music,
it's so good.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even know you were on here.
There's Concert Buddy.
That's how
I mean, we can talk about Kenny Loggins if you want, or Kenny Lagina, whoever that is.
Lagina, yeah. That's that drunk talk. Is that drunk type?
I guess.
Yeah, if you want to come up, Chance, say hey. Yeah, but I was like,
it's such a great record. It's a good.
It is.
Yeah, it's a storytelling album, right? I mean, all those stories that he tells are either real or based on people he knows or based on sort of urban folk tales, but it's so good.
Yeah. It felt like a concept album too. Like a lot of them kind of tied in. Like it felt like a small town story album.
That's exactly what it is.
And now, the only thing I'm confused is how the hell are these Canadians getting these country twang accents while they're singing? Like, because he has a little bit of it. He reminds me of Springsteen when he sings.
Well, when you listen to his earlier stuff, Springsteen's his hero, especially the self-titled EP. Very Springsteen.
Okay.
Very early, like Born to Run Springsteen.
Okay. Yeah, it's really good because he only has a couple EPs, and this is only 8 tracks.
Yeah, he's got 2 EPs. So there's the self-titled EP, and then he did an album called No Telling When, precisely 1985. That was his full-length album. And then he did another incredible rock EP called No Rest for the Wicked. And then he did Concertos and Serenades.
Yeah, but that Concertos, I was like, holy crap, that's good.
And then he has a ton of live stuff that's on the web. So when we were all in lockdown during the pandemic, he decided to do this thing called the Cross Country Chin Up. I cannot imagine Chance with a mud mask.
I can. I'm doing it right now. I can see it.
Man,
it's green. Man. It's a green mud mask. No, actually, hold on. It's pink. It's a pink mud mask.
Jesus. I just think of put the lotion in the basket or it gets the hose. He did these cross-country chin-ups. It was like every Friday night where he'd be at one of his local bars in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. It'd be just him and his, the bartender and the guy recording the console. There's nobody there. And he would just play for 2.5 hours every week. Songs from his album, songs that he just knew. And they're so good. And he did, I think, 29 of these 2-hour concerts. And they're all on YouTube. And they're absolutely incredible. But it's great because you can take his first record, which is a solid guitar rock Springsteen Born to Run kind of record, and he'll do those songs on one of those live streams, and it's just him on a grand piano, and it's incredible.
Yeah, that's cool.
How he's rearranged it's awesome. I can't say enough about the guy. He's my favorite musician for sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna check him out a little bit more because he's up my alley. I'm like, yeah, okay, we can do that. Yeah.
He's great.
I always wonder I don't know if you'll just you just can't get past the Dylan voice, but it's the attitude and the music itself too. There's a lot of that, but to me it was the lyrics a lot.
I guess for me first. I guess the reason that Dylan doesn't appeal to me, aside from the voice, because the voice I can't get past it. But I get what you're saying about his lyrics. But for me, when I listen to a song, and I've always been this way, the lyrics to me are the last thing that I care about. So I'll listen to songs that I've heard for years, and I'll know every word of the song. But don't ask me what the song's about because my brain's not actually my brain hasn't bothered to put all those sentences together and go, oh, he's telling a story about whatever.
Yeah.
To me, the vocal track to a song is just another instrument, right? To me, it's no different than a guitar or a keyboard or whatever. It's just another piece of that sonic whatever. And half the time I don't actually pay attention to what the words are, even if I know what they are, if that makes any sense at all.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, Adam Baldwin's, I know what all of those are about, but that's kind of the exception to the rule. Maybe they are brilliant lyrics, but my brain isn't putting the sentences together and going, oh, this is a song about a guy that's broke, or whatever it may be. My brain doesn't do that. So
I do it a couple different ways. Like I was with you up to probably early 90s. My friend Gary, that was just here, kept saying, you gotta listen to Dylan, you gotta listen to Neil Young. And I'm like, they suck, their voices suck. I tried it, I'm like, eh. And then Neil Young comes out with Freedom, and that just, rocking in the free world, and that whole album, I'm just like, I'm in, and I just went back. And then right around that time was the Dylan 30th anniversary concert. And now it's interesting because I got into him through the other people doing his music. You had Clapton, you had Eddie Vedder, you had a lot of people. And on that recording, Dylan is at his worst. It was at the time of his career where he was rushing through songs. He literally sounded like that, and you don't know what the fuck he's saying.
Right.
But I'm like listening to these lyrics like Masters of War and all this. I'm like, damn, he's like talking about something here. So I go back to those early albums and I'm like, oh, I'm in. So there's a like a gateway. It's interesting because I've been writing songs since I was like 17. So it is about the lyrics for me, and striving to be better at that. So I'm always listening for something in the lyric, but then I'll crank up to Pour Some Sugar on Me, which is bullshit, but it's got a great melody to it, got great guitar licks. I'm in. So I can't explain that part of it, but sometimes even a good lyric where I'll play it for somebody else and they go, oh, I don't really get into the song. I'm like, well, I think I like that song because I'm following, because Dylan can be very repetitive, but he's continuing his story. It's very folk. And Springsteen did that.
Yep.
So, I guess, but lyrics are big for me because I'll hear something and I'll throw it up on Facebook and go, man, did you catch this part of that song, kind of thing?
It's so weird the way my brain is wired, because I'll be listening to a song and I'll be singing the words of the song, and my wife will be, hey, that's a great song about whatever, and I'll go, oh, is that what it's about? She goes, how could you not know what it's about? You know every word. I go, yeah, but I'm not thinking about the words as words.
Yeah.
Just like you don't think about the strings on a guitar as a string, you think about them as a chord. You know what I mean? It's kind of the same way. I'm like, I know every word of the song, but I'm not really paying attention to what the words mean. And I should, but that's just, my brain is too busy listening to it and listening to what the guitar is doing. And, oh, there's this cool little keyboard fill here. And, oh, that's a cool little, thing on the drums. I'm listening to all the little things, and the vocal is a part of it. I'm very interested in how the vocal melody sounds and the harmony and all that kind of thing. And I rarely pay attention to what the words actually mean. I know it sounds stupid, but that's just the way I've always listened to music.
There's quite a few people I know that are more, and I do that too. That's the great part of it. There's moments where you go, wow, I really like the words, but I catch those little, that's why I like that Dylan album so much that Lanois did, because he made it so atmospheric and spatial, and he was doing Joshua Tree at the same time.
Right.
So he had that element of just, like the man in the long black coat is just killer. When you just hear the opening, and it's, as a musician, you go, wow, they're really being patient, bringing in each instrument, adding just enough as you go along. And then you have Dylan telling the story, and you're like, holy shit, this is good. So sometimes it's that collaboration kind of thing.
Sure.
But you can appreciate in all different kind of levels, but I'm really quick. If I hear something, I'm like, whoop, back that up. What did they just say right in there? And I go, damn, okay.
I could literally be singing a song and my wife could say, what was that last lyric? And I go, I don't know.
Yeah.
Even though I just sang the bloody line of the song. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like We Didn't Start the Fire. I can run right through that song.
Right.
But tell me, I can tell you parts of it, but this song has to go, and then boom.
Put Sean's comment up here. He says, I have the same feeling about music. Lyrics are the least important. I'm paying attention to. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm not crazy then. Well, it's good to know.
No, absolutely. That's the thing I've noticed. Just especially being part of the vinyl community, all the different people, and what attracts them, to a song or to an artist or whatever. It is interesting, like what artists we are just drawn to, and then we can't understand when other people don't like our artist. Like, what's wrong with you? But we can't help it.
Well, that's funny too. That's funny too, because we were in the car the other day, and I started the car. We pull out of the garage. My wife goes, "What the fuck are you listening to?" And I didn't remember what it was. It was something, whatever. It's something normally in my wheelhouse or whatever, and it's something that I don't think of as being bizarre. It might have been some kind of like, East Coast Canadian folk something. Who knows? Like, who knows, right? Or it could have been something. Could have been Adam Baldwin for all I know.
Yeah.
She's like, "What is this shit?" And I go, "What do you mean?" She goes, "This is like this garbage." And I go, What do you mean?" I just couldn't wrap my head around it. But she's kind of like one of these top 40 radio people, right? So
yeah, I've definitely, I think I was more, I think that's why I had a hard time getting into Dylan and Neil Young at first. Tom Petty I never had a problem with, even though his voice isn't perfect, but
I love Tom Petty.
I never had a problem with him.
But ask me what any Tom Petty song's about, I don't have a clue, but I know the words to a buttload of them.
Yeah. Now I could sit there and like Two Gunslingers always comes to mind.
I would buy any Tom Petty record. I mean, I only have I've got half a dozen.
Yeah.
I would buy any Tom Petty record, and I know I would love it because everything he does, everything I've ever heard is awesome.
Yeah. No, yeah. See, because then there's certain songs that I don't know. Yeah, it's just funny. Like Two Gunslingers off of Into the Great Wide Open. I always liked it because it's a Western showdown thing, and the two gunslingers are getting ready to go out there and fight it out, and then they look at each other like, "What the hell are we doing? This is stupid. One of us is."
I had no idea that's what the song was about.
Yeah, and then there's a guy in the story he's telling his wife, "This is the last one of them gunfights you're ever going to take me to." He wasn't like this deep lyricist, but he could tell a story. He could always write something that people could relate to. I don't know if he got real deep a lot, but yeah, he definitely. I'll put a picture in my head, and that's the thing, But I can just think of a dozen lyrics right now that are just like,
I can hear the song and I know a lot of the words, but I wouldn't have told you that as a sure. Okay, that's what it's about.
Yeah, there's weird. So many visuals on there.
I have to force myself to actually listen. It's kind of like. My son's 8 and he's learning to read, right? His reading is, rudimentary, but where it should be for an 8-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
And I watch him, reading the words and kind of in his mind putting those words together into a sentence so that he know what the sentence says. And it's like I have to kind of force myself to do that with lyrics. I know the lyrics, but I got to force myself to go, oh, they're talking about a guy that has a pet donkey or whatever the hell it is, right? Like,
sometimes you just don't know. But even like Tweeter and the Monkey Man,
I love that song.
Freaking love it, and follow that story. It's really cool,
Yeah.
And you're talking about selling cocaine and hash and all this stuff, and undercover agent man and all this stuff. And like, this is Dylan at his best right here with that storytelling.
There is another fantastic cover of that song out there. There's a Canadian, we'll call it an alt rock band from the 90s called the Headstones.
Yeah. Did I hear that?
And they covered Tweeter and the Monkey Man, and it's awesome.
I might have heard that.
It was their biggest hit. If you look it up on YouTube or whatever, there'll be a video for it.
Yeah.
So good.
Because, they just played that in a record store this year at some point. I'm like, that's not the Traveling Wilburys. It might have been that version you're talking about. It was good. And they made it more of kind of like a pop rock kind of song, not
like a 90s rock kind of thing.
Yep, I've heard that. They did a good job with that.
It's a great version of that song.
So what's cool is you have all this music to enjoy. So maybe at some point you'll go, what is, especially Springsteen, the dude can tell a story. He's
Yeah.
he's another poet that's compared to Dylan, on
Well,
that level.
here, case in point, right? I've said Nebraska was my sort of epiphany moment with him. I'm like, holy shit. And I absolutely love that record, with the exception of the song Nebraska and the exception of the song Open All Night. I can't tell you what any of the other songs are about. Do I know all the words? Yep. I don't know what they're about, because I've never actually sat down to actually, what stories are you trying to tell me here? I'm listening to the sentences, but once the first sentence is out of my head, I'm on to the next sentence, and I'm not connecting the two and just not putting it together.
Yeah. I'm always open for that storyline. Even Frank Zappa, as silly as he gets, the song "Don't Eat the Yellow Snow," there's a storyline in there, and I'm following the damn story because there's about these Eskimos and what are the Eskimos doing and all that. So well,
I'm not politically correct, but if we were to use that word up here, holy man, we get into mountain. You can't say Eskimo up here anymore.
Oh, you can't say Eskimo? Is it like Native American? Is that what it is? Like Native American?
Eskimos we call Inuit.
Inuit. Okay.
I'm not politically correct. I don't give a flying fuck, but
I didn't know it was a bad thing. Yeah.
We even had we had a professional football team, because we have our own football league, Canadian Football League. There was a team called the Edmonton Eskimos. They had to change their name because Eskimos is so offensive.
It's like what they did with the Redskins down here. The Commanders now, or whatever they are.
Yeah. The Edmonton Eskimos are now the Edmonton Elk. Whatever.
Yeah. And it was
Eskimo means flesh eater, so that's why apparently it's offensive.
The bad thing. Okay.
Whatever.
Yeah. It's funny here, when they changed the name, the Native Americans had no problem with it.
Right.
They were actually okay with the recognition in a weird kind of way. It was
supposedly the guy that was on the helmet, like the logo, that's actually supposed to be a real chief that was.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess they're upset now that because they're not paying homage to that chief anymore or something. I think is
kind of backfired. It's all the white people with the white guilt down here. We're gonna stick up for be quiet, people.
It's the same up here, man. It's out of hand. I think it's all bullshit. I just be nice to each other, and
and you can support people in their endeavors, but don't speak for them. That you're actually crossing a line there. It's like they don't need your help. They're okay. They don't need the white man to come save them again. So pretty funny.
Yeah,
but I did try this tonight. This is pretty good. Blue Note whiskey.
Oh yeah.
But it's more blues based. I like Blue Note because of the records, but But this is a pretty damn good little. Not bad. Cranking in the new year with that bad boy.
We had this grand plan with all kinds of like appetizers and stuff. We were going to snack our face off tonight. It was just us, my wife and my son and I.
Yeah.
The kid went to bed at 9:30, and the wife and I just kind of hung out and watched some TV and didn't touch any of the food that we bought, and we just kind of did nothing. And I go, I'm all right with that. And she goes, I am too.
Yeah, I pigged out a little bit too much. We only had like 5 people over, and they left by like 10. Everybody's
all right.
I have a almost 93-year-old mother-in-law. She was done. She's like, I'm out of here. So they all left, and that's why I got up for a minute to see who was up and said Happy New Year. And they're all asleep now. But it does kind of make you go, it gives you a starting point. It's weird. It's like, okay, what am I gonna accomplish here? What am I gonna get done?
Yeah.
How do I get rid of the distractions to get some things I want done? Get those goals met. So especially weight. I need to get out and freaking exercise.
Oh man, you and me both.
I'm so done with it.
3 years ago, I said exactly what I'm saying right now. Oh God, I got to get into shape, and I did it. I dropped 35 pounds. I felt like $1 million. I had energy. Nothing hurt. Like my lower back sometimes bothers me. I felt great. I went down like 3 pant sizes, and this was fantastic. and I got into it, and it's very little exercise because I don't exercise like that. That shit's just not going to happen. It's mainly diet, right? And and I kept the weight off for like 2.5 years. I'm like, I got this. And then about halfway through this year, I got real lazy. I put all of it back on again, and I'm back where I was 3 years ago. And I'm like, God damn. And now I feel sluggish, and there's days that my back hurts, and I'm like, oh crap.
You want to sleep all the time.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I was down. Yeah. What day? How much did I lose? It must have been 40 pounds or more. So I was like in good shape, but then I get kidney stones and stuff like that. And I got like a bout of kidney stones, and I was going to go run a 5K, and I was sick, and I kind of got in a funk, and I kind of told myself, you took it off before. Challenge yourself. So I put all the freaking weight back on, and now it's like, what the hell am I doing? Now I'm like, this is what you felt good when you had that off. You're like,
great. And I even had people going, man, you look fantastic. I'm like, thanks.
Right. That was even better. Yeah.
Right.
And but it was, mostly watching what I was eating. And, but then I got into the exercise. I do like to get out and move around. So
I'm not one to exercise. I can't stand it, but I've got like a little walking treadmill, and I've got a rowing machine. So they are now, we have a spare bedroom just the other end of the house in the basement here that's never used because we don't have any company because we have no friends. And I hate people. So I'm like, I just moved the bed over a little bit, and I set the treadmill up, and the rowing machine's there, and there's a big TV, and I'm like, all right, I have a workout room now, and starting January 1st, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah. So tonight I pigged out, and I'm like, okay, that's it. We're gonna go for it here. So I'm trying to incorporate like the walk and talks and stuff like that back into it, so I can keep myself busy while I'm doing it. And
sure,
but it was funny when the kids were little. I would go out because I read as much as I can. I would wait for them to pick them up from school. And if I had a couple minutes, I'd actually walk and read. And people couldn't believe, like, what is this guy doing walking around reading a book? Like, I'm walking down the sidewalk and I'm stopping right where I need to stop. And they're like, how do you know what's going on? I'm like, I don't know. And I can tell you exactly what's going on in the story. Like, how do you not trip?
Right? I would. I'd wander out in traffic or whatever.
Yeah, I'm that weirdo. I'm that guy that walks with a book. I'm the guy that goes out with the freaking selfie stick with a light at night at 2:00 in the morning. Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with me.
I would have no problem going out and walking, except the problem here, half the year is it's too goddamn cold. So that's the reason I have a walking treadmill, like not a running treadmill. It's just one of those small ones that you walk on. So
we'll
see.
Those are cool. I think that's part of it too. This is the best time of year for us because we do get our humid days still. Like the other day it was humid. I couldn't believe it. But it is the best time of year to get out and exercise without feeling like you're going to die.
It's been warm up here this week. We had snow earlier. We had snow till Christmas Day, and then it warmed up and it all melted. And Saturday was actually 11 degrees, which I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, but put it this way, at 15 degrees, I'm wearing shorts, and it was 11. So it was almost short weather. So I was out taking all the Christmas lights down, and even today it was a couple degrees above freezing and a little bit of drizzle, green grass everywhere. I'm like, this is the best December ever.
Yeah.
So
we actually had a cool Christmas. Usually it's hot on Christmas Day. We had a cool one, and then today was nice. It rained a little bit, but it stayed kind of cool. So it keeps you in the holiday spirit kind of thing. When it gets warm, it's just like, it's like another day in Florida. It's like,
everyone here gets excited when we get snow, and I'm like, I'm fine with snow on Christmas Day. Aside from that, I don't ever want to see it.
Yeah,
hate it.
Yeah,
so we're lucky now. Winter now is about. When I was a kid, winter would come middle of November, and you'd have snow from the middle of November till the last week of March, and it would never go away. And now snow doesn't get here till usually the beginning of January or the end of December, and it's gone by the middle of March. So we get like maybe 3 months of winter, like 3 months of snow. which is better than 5.
Yeah, that tells you a little something about the environment and stuff. Huh.
Yeah.
That's a drastic change. Here, it's hard to tell because it just feels like it's hot all the time. Like, I'm not going to put on jeans unless it's under 60 degrees, probably.
Yeah.
It's got to get down there pretty good because I'm all right walking around with shorts and, if I have to, a long sleeve shirt. That's about it.
That would be me. I would wear shorts 300. And I'm wearing shorts right now, but I'm in the house, right? But if I never had to put long pants on again, I'd be okay. I hate long pants. Hate it. Yeah, I got to wear long pants for work, but
yeah. But somehow I never had shorts as a kid, really, in Florida, which is weird. We always wore jeans, but we grew up around horses and stuff too. So I don't ever remember wearing shorts. We just had jeans and t-shirts and, but then again, I wasn't as heavy as I am now either. Here I can just think about sweating and I start sweating.
You got a little built-in insulation.
Yeah.
You and me both.
Yeah. Back then it wasn't like, it was no big deal, but
yeah.
But I'm looking forward to see what's going to happen. If I can, I like where I started already with my records. I have some stuff I'm going to get up on eBay because I have a store. Some stuff I think I'm going to take it to the record store, get like a store credit, and see what I'm going to do with that. And then, but just like you said, get used to these, get to know these albums a little bit better.
Yeah, I don't have anything really to get rid of. I mean, I look at my collection and I go, I've got 800 records, which to some folks is a lot, but in vinyl community terms, it's not really. And when you consider that those 800 records I started buying in 1994. So I've only bought 800 records in 30 years. That's not a lot of records. It's not.
No. Plus some of those were given to you, right?
Right.
So inherited or whatever,
there's very little that I've bought that is just like, there's very little filler. So there's not much for me to get rid of. But like I said, there's some that I need to listen to because I bought it and forgot it. But they're artists I really like. So I'm relatively confident that I'm gonna listen to it more. I'm trying to listen to all of it more, I guess is kind of what I'm getting at. But and I want to.
What's cool is you're going to listen to one of those albums and go, oh, and kind of fall in love with it again, or rediscover it again, which is the fun part. Like the album that you didn't like. There's a lot of Springsteen, different artists that I don't know all their albums complete.
Right.
But I put one on and all of a sudden going, oh, okay, I remember why. Okay. Yeah. So you get that research, that feeling of, oh, okay, this is cool.
Yeah. So I'm just going to try to listen more, and I'm going to try to, I mean, I'm not an audiophile, and I have opinions about audiophiles that would not be popular. But I still want to, make the best of the listening experience that I can. And I think I'm going to replace my amplifier. I like the one that I've got, but the only issue I have with it, I work from home a couple days a week because I'm in sales, but I'm a sales manager. So I have certain administrative functions that need to be fulfilled as well. So on days that I'm working from home, I like to listen to music. And while it may seem very lazy, I'll have a record on. I'll be sitting here at my desk and my phone will ring. And my phone rings a lot during the workday. And every time my phone rings, I got to get up. I got to walk over to the stereo. I either got to turn it down or turn it off. And I'm like, I'm going to get an amplifier that I actually has volume on the remote.
Okay.
So that I can just turn it down and still have it playing in the background while I'm on the phone to somebody. The amplifier I have is my dad's from like 1992. So it's great and it works fine, but there's no remote for it. And, to turn down the volume, you literally have to go over and turn the volume down. So I've been looking at replacing my amp, and might replace my floor speakers because I've been kind of underwhelmed by them, because I have my floor speakers and then I have just cheap Chinese bookshelf speakers I got off Amazon. My floor speakers are 40 years old. My Amazon little bookshelf speakers actually sound better than my floor speakers do.
Yeah, I have little, I think they're Edifice. Oh, no, I have Sony's in here now. I just have Sony.
Yeah.
I have 2 Sony speakers and a Sony amp, got my volume control. It's good for this room. It's not a very big room.
Yeah, I don't need to blow the walls off the place, but my floor speakers are at the far end of the room, and my office is 24 feet long, so my speakers are, 20 feet away from me, and they're fine. But I get better sound out of the little tiny bookshelf speakers that are over here on my. I don't know if you can see it. My bookshelf speakers are right there beside my stereo. You see one right by the Gibson there, the red guitar. Yeah. My floor speakers are over there. You can see it over in the corner.
Yeah, so okay.
They're quite a distance away. And so I might work on replacing those this year and get an ultrasonic cleaner. I think, I'm going to spend the money that way rather than adding to the collection, I think.
Yeah, I think I like that idea. I'm going to definitely, I'm going to go on this path for a little bit and just see what needs to stay. Like there's a couple box sets, and I'm kind of done with box sets and stuff because I don't really ever open it up and go through the whole thing.
And that's a good point too. I mean, I have a few box sets. Like if the Beatles put out a super deluxe, I'll buy it because I want all the extra stuff.
Yeah.
But then I find I don't listen to the extra stuff that often.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, then why did I buy it?
Yeah, usually that, especially if it has interviews or like this version, that version of a song,
right.
I get it on CD. I just go that route because if I'm ever going to listen to it, CD is a lot easier.
Sure.
That's why I like the last Hendrix that came out with Electric Ladyland. I knew it had all this extra stuff, and I'm glad I got it on CD instead, just the way it's laid out. I want my records to be put it down. I'm going to listen to this idea that they had at the time, and I want that. That's what I want on vinyl.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I know other people have other ideas, and that's
why you got that makes sense.
Yeah, because there's one I got. It was the I forgot what the series was called. This one, the Nuggets.
Oh yeah,
and it's fun. It's a big comp. It's good, but I'm listening to it and going, I don't know how many times I'm actually going to play this thing.
Right.
And it's taking up a lot of space. So I don't know. I think this one's going to be one that's going to be moving out. But like, of course, I'm going to keep my Petty Fillmore and Clapton Unplugged and all that stuff. But
that Petty Fillmore, I wish I would have bought the 6 LP. I just bought the 3 LP, but I wish I would have bought the 6.
Yeah.
Because it's really
I didn't do that with like the Wildflower one that he did, which was like, I don't know, 7 or 8. But I've heard a lot of people had issues with that set.
Yes.
But I bought all the different variations of like Wildflowers and all the rest and Wildflowers, whatever. So I think I'm only missing maybe just a little bit off of it.
Right.
But those all sound really good. So
that's good.
Kind of glad I didn't get that one.
I'm hoping there's no box sets I want to buy this year because they get so bloody expensive.
Yeah, I don't know what's the Beatles. I don't know what they've got coming up 50th anniversary.
I hope nothing. 65. I hope nothing.
What came out in 65 of the Beatles?
Help and Rubber Soul.
Oh boy.
Might be they've been talking about a Rubber Soul box set for a while.
Yeah. Well, here,
but I gotta think by now. The albums 65 and earlier those songs are not what you would call sophisticated by any means, relative to, the stuff on Sgt. Pepper or Abbey Road, for example. So, really, what are you going to get in a super deluxe box set? I get it with Sgt. Pepper. And I get it with Abbey Road, and I have those, and there's a lot of really cool stuff on there. But how, like I look at the Revolver box set, which I have, and it has like 4 versions of the same song, and they don't really sound that different. Do we really need that? And I go, no, I don't think we do.
Yeah.
But I bought it because I'm kind of a completist for them. So.
Yeah. I can divide it up. Like if I go really want it, like I said, I'll get it on CD. Yeah, I'll just do it that way.
But I didn't buy the new Red and Blue albums because I don't need them.
Yeah,
I think that was a cash grab, and I didn't buy the new US albums because I have the originals. I'm good. There's nothing new. There's nothing new there, so I'm good.
Yeah, and I hadn't had those, so I'm like, I'm just gonna get it like this, even though they did change it up a bit, but I was like, no, let me go ahead and get it because it already has the single on it, the new one, and all that stuff.
I bought the single as a 12-inch, so I'm good, and I don't really
Yeah.
care about the new mixes of some of the songs that are on the red and blue. I'm like, they're not. It's still the same song, so it doesn't to me.
Yeah, I don't like it when they mess with it too much. Yeah, because you get it in your head how a song is.
Yes.
They go messing with it too much. Like, why are you messing with it? There's a reason why we like these songs.
Yeah.
You know, but they're gonna do it because people are gonna go, oh, I have to have that different version of it.
Of course. Beatles fans are crazy, and as a Beatles fan, I've been guilty of that. So
yeah,
I get it.
Yeah.
What I hope happens is Peter Jackson's supposed to have been working on the Star Club tapes. So it's a concert they did at the Star Club in Hamburg in '62, just after Ringo joined the band. And it's been out for years, but it sounds horrible. But Peter Jackson owns the tapes, and the Beatles gave him the go-ahead, so he's been using his AI software to go through and remove as best he can all the crowd noise and everything. Because it's a noisy bar in Hamburg, Germany.
Yeah.
Some guy with a portable tape recorder recorded the show.
Yeah, if he can. Well, he did a pretty good job with that Lennon song, taking that apart and putting it back together.
And there's so much on the Star Club tapes that they never recorded anywhere else.
Yeah, and it's going to be a lot of 50s kind of cover songs, probably.
Yeah.
Because those are probably the ones I don't go to that much. Is like the BBC sessions.
Oh, those are the best.
Yeah, I haven't done it in a while. I probably need to revisit it. I have those on CD.
There's 2 volumes. Volume 1 is vastly superior to Volume 2. Volume 2 gives a shit. There's like 5 unreleased songs in there. Who cares? Yeah. Volume 1 is phenomenal. Yeah, that's my go-to Beatles record. If I'm in the mood to listen to Beatles, it's Volume 1 of the BBC.
Oh, wow.
Love it.
Yeah, I haven't listened to it in a while.
It's the first Beatles CD I ever bought. I love it.
Oh, okay. So it kind of hits you a little different than it does me.
I love it.
I mean, I was that did draw me into the Beatles, but I got more into probably Sgt. Pepper first, and the anthology stuff was cool. I have all those. Yeah. And then the singles that came out too with Real Love and
Free as a Bird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just stuff I need to revisit, go back and give it a listen. Cause I just listening to these right here, the early stuff, the Capitol, I was tapping my foot and enjoying it. And, it's the Beatles. They had a sound. There was all these melodies and, yeah. If you feel something off of it, it's worth having.
If you ever stumble across, there's a bunch of different bootleg versions of it, but if you ever stumble across a bootleg of the Decca auditions, buy it. Because the Decca auditions are phenomenal. It's 15 songs they recorded for Decca Records professionally in a studio. The sound quality is fantastic. And almost all of them were songs they never, ever recorded ever again. The Decca auditions are amazing. They're great. So good.
I'm looking to see. Now, was that before Ringo?
Yes.
So it looks like Pete Best is up there.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever. There's a couple different album covers.
I got 2 different versions. Hold on.
One that looks like it's almost painted. You haven't seen these before.
Hold on. This is the most common one. It's called the Decca tapes.
All right.
You can get this on Amazon. It's listed on there.
Oh, okay.
And then the other one that you see frequently, there's this one here, the Silver Beatles Volume 1.
That I've seen.
Beatles. These are exactly the same thing.
Okay, I've seen the silver one. I haven't seen the black one before.
Yeah, you need both because it only has half of it if you only get one of them. But so good.
Okay. So good. Yeah, that's just good stuff.
Really good stuff. I think 3 of the tracks appear on Anthology 1.
Like what was the one? What was the very first one they did off of Anthology 1? She's so what's that song?
I think
She's so no. Shoot, can't think of it.
They did so off of here. They did Like Dreamers Do, Chic of Araby, and I think Three Cool Cats were the ones that made it to the anthology.
Yeah, and then they do. Oh, Besame Mucho was on there.
Yeah,
yeah. Okay.
They also recorded that for the Let It Be sessions too. So there's two very different versions of Besame Mucho.
Yeah, yeah, it's cool. Yeah, I have to get into these. I'm looking forward to it, getting back into some more of this stuff and just enjoying it.
Yeah.
Plus I want to kind of freshen things up this year, about what I'm talking about and all that.
So that's the other thing too. I've been trying to think of, new video ideas and, I think it's got to be boring sitting there looking at my face talking all the time. So how can I change it up? And I don't really know what that is yet.
Yeah. Well, they just come to you, the ideas, but there's so many albums in here I don't talk about and that I don't see a lot of other people talking about. So I need to talk about them.
Yeah.
And that might be something I need to do also. And there's going to be a lot that I'm going to come across that I can kind of come up with a fresh perspective on them. So I don't stress about it. I just,
I don't either. Something usually, I record every Friday night. So something usually comes to me on about Wednesday or Thursday. And
well, you did. How many do you do this week? It seems like you put like 2 or 3 out this week.
I think I put out 3 this week because they were tagged, right? So I did my year-end wrap-up and I did the CD tag and I think I did the vinyl tag. So
those I want to do, and a lot of times I just don't get the time to get to them. And then at some point I go, well, is it just too late to even bother with it?
Yeah.
But I'm bad at that. That's why I jumped on the 2024 one, which raised a lot of controversy this year. I don't get it. I mean,
there's so much. Well,
you know where it comes from. You know where the drama comes from.
That's what it boils down to. It all comes from a certain area, and I stay clear of that crowd.
And I am so I went through my withdrawal symptoms or my withdrawal problems, and I'm fine now. It's kind of like politics. I got away from politics. I'm much happier and clear-headed about life. Just to get the garbage out of my head,
As soon as I very early on understood what that certain segment of the community was about, I'm like, I don't subscribe to any of them. I don't need to know.
Yep.
Do your thing, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just here to make videos, and there are certain people that I like doing stuff with, like you and my other Wednesday night folks, and I'll just happily keep my little circle, and we'll just keep talking about music and having fun, and
Well, that's we got into it for this, not for this nonsense drama stuff.
Right.
We got into it because we're learning.
I'm not here to be a YouTube personality like certain people are. So.
Yeah. And that's, other people have goals or whatever. That's fine. But
knock yourself to each their own has always been my motto, right?
Exactly. But, without this, I wouldn't have come across Alec Baldwin. I can tell you that right now. So that's a good way to start off this year, going for that one. So, that's nice and calm. I can end in a stream and be calm and,
Yep.
Be all
Don't
right
need the drama. Don't need the drama.
Not at all. So, all right, well, cool. We're at that 2-hour mark, Rob. Do you want to promote anything?
No. I got some videos up. Check them out if you want.
Yeah.
That's it.
You know what we do over here. I pop up and
Yep.
I respond to my comments and I do what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll see if I run into, I don't know if you watch Melinda Murphy.
I do all the time. She's great.
Yeah. I have a feeling she moved to the St. Augustine area.
Yeah. How close is that to you?
That's it's about 4 hours from here, but we're going to be going middle of January. We'll be going up to St. Augustine.
You're greater Orlando area, aren't you?
I'm south or southeast or southwest of Orlando, so I'm about 2 hours from Orlando.
Okay.
So what we do is we go and stay in a resort in Orlando, and then we do day trips up to St. Augustine and come back. So it's kind of nice. So the trip isn't so long.
Right.
But they light up the city. I think starting in December through the end of January, they light up the whole St. Augustine city. So at night, it's just really cool.
That's cool.
So we go there every year, do our thing. So
how close are you to Dunedin?
Oh, Dunedin?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I got to get you one of those hats. I'm like maybe half an hour, maybe 20 minutes.
Yeah, I gotta get you hooked me up with a Dunedin Blue Jays hat. I'll pay to ship. I'll pay for it, and I'll pay to ship it up here, of course.
Yeah, but just if you know which one you like, or I was figuring if I get to the store one day, I can send you some pics. But
they just have their standard. I think it's just got a D on it. Let me just look here.
I wonder if the store's open. Is it always open, or
I have
to look it up.
Yeah, so their hat. Where is it here? There it is. It's got a D on it with the bird poking. So it's the same bird that's here, but it's poking out from behind a letter D.
Okay.
That's what the team wears.
And is it a one size fits all hat, or what is that?
I'll send you the thing on it.
Yeah, send me some specs, and then
I like the ones that are adjustable. I don't like the adjustment.
Okay, is it the plastic or the Velcro thing?
No, this is the fabric with the Velcro on it.
Okay, gotcha.
Because when I find the ones that are sized, they just find unless you get the right size, I find they're either really loose or they're too tight. I get a headache, and it's like I like these ones that have the
little thing,
the adjustable ones. So
that's cool. Okay. All right, man. Well, coming up.
Happy New Year, John. I'm glad we got the chat here. So
yeah, Happy New Year. A good way to start off the year on a positive vibe.
Absolutely.
But it's very cool. So I'm gonna hit it so I can get my butt up in the morning.
Yeah, I gotta get my butt up at some mid-morning. Parker's got one of his friends from school coming over in the afternoon they're gonna play for the afternoon. So I gotta get up and make sure the house is clean and whatever. So
do dad duties. Yep.
Exactly. So that's the plan, man. And then I'm up tomorrow night. We're doing our live stream tomorrow night. So
okay. I think I'm
Joe and myself and Richard S is joining us this week. So we'll be on from 8 till 10. So
yep, I should be in the peanut gallery then putting my smart ass comments in there. You know me.
Wouldn't miss it, man.
Yeah. Cool, man.
Right, man.
Well, thanks again.
Have a good one, pal.
All right, take care.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.